Welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft. This area here has gotten so janky, so very janky lately. That is not how you craft clay. I'm going to grab some of this stuff because I'm looking for some materials here, and I believe that if we smelt this stuff into hardened clay, which might sound inefficient, you know, go mine it from a mesa. Well, we are farming clay around the clock. We have 25,000 of it, and a mesa is a long, long way away. That actually kind of makes sense. This is all full up. Let's get rid of that, then that, and chuck the clay in here. So I'm thinking of using the hardened clay colours alongside with some coloured wool as well, because I got a fantastic suggestion from a member of the audience. I can't remember if it was in a live stream or in a video, but as soon as I saw the suggestion, I wrote it down. I'm like, we're doing this. And so today's episode, we're going to do something a little bit different than usual, different style of recording. Because we're going to make something very cool for our shop. Now, you can target a mod searching in refined storage, something I was aware you could do over here, probably done this before and then forgotten about it. Notice this, the TARDIS. I thought that might actually look really cool if it's a full-size TARDIS. It's probably one block. I think everything in DecoCraft is one block, isn't it? And there's a few things here we could take for the balloons. They would look great in there, yeah. I tell you what, I looked through that menu a lot of times and a few things here didn't really catch my eye, but seeing them in here, yes, a couple of things we could try out. What's that? A star pinata? No, I don't think we'll need that in our shop. I don't think we'll need it at all. And there's something else we're going to do at the beginning of this video, which is check our loot bag situation. It's not that great, is it? A lot of artifact bags. What have happened to all of these? They've been automatically opened. That's the dealio. So we will open a couple at the beginning. We will open a couple at the end, provided that I remember. And that looks really cool. It's a dubstep pet. All right now. Hello. I know what this thing does. Do you hear it? I think my bit low. What's it coming through? This channel? Enjoy some dubstep, peeps. And it's over as quick as that. Yeah, let's put it back down to 20. So we got the dubstep pet. That's one more off the list. Next one is a chicken pet. Its favourite food is seeds. Gives you eggs. What does it mean by peaceful? Gives you eggs, though. I don't think that one's going to be terribly useful. Anyway, there you go. Got a couple of pets. Nothing spectacular. We're going to head over to the city of maybe. And where is my waystone? My waystone be hidden away in my bag. This bag is horribly organised. Every time I look at it, I'm thinking, that's embarrassing. We've got to make that look nice and clean. It never happens. Right, over we go. So, I'll tell you, there's something wrong with this poor fella right here. I'll tell you. The amount of times that I use this waystone and I click on the place that I'm at is redonkulous. While it's recharging, why don't we fly over here, drop down into the hole of doom and just check on this area. How's the power situation? This is not what I wanted to see. I haven't been online. Something is wrong. We are... you should be taken out of there regardless because it's done by Ender IO conduits that don't need power. I think that every Ender IO network in this area has broken. Could it be? If we break this one here in the middle, we wouldn't have to, you know, like reset a bunch of stuff. Apparently doing that will fix this. And so over on this side, we might see it kick in. Nope, so that's not it. It could be that this has run out of juice, so it can't do its send and receive. You've got milk there, though. My goodness me. I really thought that was going to work. Well, everything I try with power fails. I guess that's just the way it goes. We'll come back to that later. We're going to head over to the city of maybe. Definitely that is the city of maybe. We're clicking on the right place. We're not clicking on my name again. Oh, and has anything changed? Oh, yes, look at that. Wow. Oh, some amazing chisel and bitsing going on right here. Look at that. I love it. Streetlights. That's awesome. Oh, it's so cool. Street lights. I mean, these are street lamps. What are they called? Stoplights. Start light. My brain is appalling. I'm sorry. I apologise. Oh, and a little 850. No, sorry. 85th Street. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, I'm liking the details. Is there anything else for us to check out? Scars Building is coming along over here, as you can see. Nothing on the inside yet. The outside is absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking. I've sung Scar's praises many, many times, and I don't need to do it again, do I? It speaks for itself. So, we have a fantastic idea. We're going to get to that in a second. TARDIS, how big are you? A small TARDIS. If it was a big one, I thought it would be really cool to hide it in an alleyway. These things are probably going to go on the inside. The balloons will actually go really well in front of one of the windows here. This takes up far more than just one block, doesn't it? Let's throw down a piece of wall just about there, slap that on front of it. It's nice and colourful. That's kind of perfect, man. That's kind of awesome. That's what we want to have on display in this shop. Excellent. A candy bowl will go somewhere near the register. If you have brought something, you can take a complimentary candy. That's so cool. Oh man, this place looking good. Right, so you probably want to know what we're going to be doing. Crayons is what we're going to be doing. This is a suggestion from you, the viewers, that I absolutely adore. We have needed things to put in as a display for this shop window. And an idea that I got was to put some giant crayons. That sounds so cool, and I got a vision of how this is going to look. Now, whenever I think of crayons, what I remember is Winnie the Pooh. And this is like going way back to my childhood, and I can barely remember this, but I always have this memory of, I think it was like a feature-length movie of Winnie the Pooh, and there being lots of crayons inside this castle, like crayon people, right? They come to life, they move around, something like that. I need to go on YouTube, man. That'll be on YouTube. I need to find out what this memory I have of my childhood is. But it is a fond memory, and it is one of crayons. And crayon, I believe, is not actually the name of what a crayon is. It's actually a brand's name, but it's the one that everyone will associate. So we're going to take these three colours. We're going to take red, green and blue, and this is why I was talking earlier about getting a hardened clay colour, because crayons, they have like the crayon underneath, and then they have that paper over the top of them with that black strip. We're going to include the black strip, and I forgot to bring some black dye. Of course I did. Of course I did. There we go, black wool right there. Excellent. And then we've got to make the shape of a crayon. Now these crayons could be fairly large, and I think what we'll do is start with the middle one, because these are probably going to look really cool if they're next to each other. However, the way Chisel and Bits works, you can probably get away with building it in one position on the block, and then, hey, we could actually kind of like find this out right now. So if I take this thing and look for something that we've already chiseled that isn't taking up a full block, like this. Okay, now I can place that on the ground if we go to placement mode. If I hold shift, I can place it anywhere. Excellent. So we're going to make a crayon, probably one that is like that. Also, you can place it between blocks, so it'll split it up into two blocks. It's a really, really amazing mod, to be fair. The way this thing has been done, I mean, working with Minecraft, I imagine that wasn't terribly easy. How do I want to do this? I think we'll start off by breaking it down like this. I shouldn't have put these on either side. So anyway, we've got red, green and blue, and by the way, this, if it wasn't clear, isn't my idea for the thing that I want to put in this area that I've hinted at a couple of times. We'll come to that soon. I really dislike these particle effects that I'm getting at the moment. They kind of make the video look a little bit ugly in my opinion. Okay, a relog seemed to fix that, and I kind of changed my mind about this already. I would actually like to make this a full block again. I think we just took off too much. And do you know what? We shouldn't really be building this right here where it's going to go. We should be building it over here a little bit. Anyway, I talked about today's episode being a little bit of an experiment. I am known for being someone who puts a lot of time into my videos, and I definitely pride myself on that. But every now and then your schedule kind of gets over your head and you don't have the time to make the video that people are waiting for, you know, because I do daily videos. So I got this amazing idea, and I thought, why don't we do something a little bit different today and just do something a bit more organic, have a chat, hang out like it were a live stream or something like that, and just play some Minecraft and do this little project here. This is what I've got in mind. And yeah, let's chisel away all these edges quickly. Yeah, I could actually be doing that. That would have been a lot quicker. Okay, there we go. I had the old idea that we did over there with using these settings, and yeah, didn't think, hang on, there's a smarter way to do this. So anyway, that's a little bit thicker than what we had a moment ago, which is why I've come back to this. And I think what we're going to do is knock out those ones as a marker, and then come across by 2 and just see how that looks for... Actually, that looks really good for a curve. Okay, so if we take all of these out, man, the tools provided here are excellent. Is it just those two next? I think it is. Yep, that looks about right. And so this is us creating a curve around the outside, and that is going to be like the curve of the crayon. So a moment ago I was thinking that I was going to build this with like one layer at the bottom and slowly build it up. But I think the details we want to add, we kind of want to wrap around the outside. And now that I've said that out loud, I actually think that what we're looking at here would be the shape of the full thing. So this is actually going to get a little bit slimmer, and we're going to put our crayon wrapper on the outside. Okay, now that is not quite... No, it is the same on all sides. It's also a little bit dark in here, isn't it? Okay, there we go. It's a little bit brighter in here, and this has been slimmed down. So we're going to create the shape of this thing, and then we're going to build the point at the top. And I feel like moving forward, this is really solid. I don't really have a problem with this, although now I'm starting to wonder if the texture was the right idea. There is actually another mod that we could investigate, and considering how I'm just going to go straight forward and build this thing, I think a little bit of time to investigate something different might actually be a really good idea. So there is a mod in this game that does flat colors, and looking at the picture of the crayons that I've got on the other screen, it is the paper that has more texture than the crayon itself. So we should definitely have a look at that. I'm telling you, sometimes it feels like the world conspires against you, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I recorded the beginning of this video with the wrong settings, so you may have noticed that the video itself might have looked a little bit less than usual. I hope that wasn't a problem for you. I'm not going to let it get to me. We're going to crack on. No need to re-record or anything like that. I'm not into that stress, you know. I'm not into that at all. So, we have crafted these things right here, Color Block Crafter, and from what I understand, you have this in your inventory, and when you open it, you get to see a bunch of options for different colored blocks. Right, that's nice, but that's actually based on the dies that I'm holding in my inventory. So, this should be something we put in the shop, like on an item frame, and apparently I have 2 of them. I only remember crafting 1, but now I've got 2. How very odd. And also, I believe this is using glowstone because these are glowing rocks. If I were to take that out, let's put it back in this chest because I can't just throw it down on the ground. And also, chest, you have that cloned one. Ah, now nothing. Okay, so I think it also works with glass, and maybe there's another block that you need as the base. But I don't mind it glowing because we want this to be nice and bright and visible. So basically we get to pick a shade which we think matches this green that's going to go over the top of it, and that is quite a... here's what I want to do, like a side-by-side thing. So let's put the green over here, and it goes darker, of course. It's kind of dark. A lot of these colours aren't very... I think we might need some black in here as well, so it can combine that colour. If we hover over, it says RGB. It doesn't really say anything about black and white, does it? Let's get some black dye. There might actually be some in this chest. That certainly did the trick. I've opened this thing up, and now we have a lot more options right here. So, aha! I could look for a long time, I was about to say. That one has caught my eye. I think that's the colour we're going to go with, but maybe this one here, it's a little bit brighter, a little bit paler as well. So let's actually go with that one. I think that's going to be our colour. Now, it's probably taken some dyes. It looks like it's taken 1 green and 1 black. So maybe that's what it costs per block, is like 1 dye for each of the different things that it uses. So let's just put that side by side. I think the 2 of those... is that thing changing colour? That is changing colour. What? What happens if I like chisel it? Does it still... Is that like a feature of using glow? Oh, okay, let's try this with another block. Okay, this colour is a little bit brighter than the last one we picked, but it's not animated. That's really weird. Why would it be animated? I do not know. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to consume the material, then we're going to select that material, do our connected pane trick, and build this up on top. And we're going to try and make this into a full segment because it'll end up being the bottom of the crayon. Well, actually, what we'll do is we'll just keep building it up for a second. Then we want to use our chisel design to copy it over a couple of times. Now what we're going to do is pretend that this bit isn't here, so much so that we will actually consume, bam, all of that, and treat this thing as if it is just Ah, well, I don't want to do that. Let's consume that. Excellent. This thing is just its own crayon, is what I was trying to say. So how tall do we want it to be? Our window is 1, 2, 3, and then having the thing at the very top, I think would look ugly. I actually reckon we want to aim for about 2 and a bit. And I was going to make each of these a different height as well. So let's not do that. Let's chop off half of it. Maybe a bit more. This is going to be the tallest one. So let's go down to this height right here. And then from here, what we're going to do is build up the top of the chisel itself. Now, looking at the picture, it has its shape and then it goes inwards a little bit. So we're going to probably work with single bits. This is it going inwards. And now what I got to do is kind of build up like a shape that like goes to a point, you know? And I think it's going to be kind of tricky. I am being super careful with this one, just placing these blocks down ever so slowly here, but also thinking that, do you know what, we really need like a slow flight mode in this pack for when you're doing your chisel and bits. I'm also thinking this would look so much nicer if it were built around a central point, but I'm kind of liking how this spike is coming together, and the next step I think is to add another little bit like that. And then we're kind of left with those 4 blocks in the middle, which are never going to look very pointy, are they? So I guess this is kind of it. We'll fill that space in, and then we'll have a look. So do we go up by 1 or up by 2? I kind of feel like 2 is the way to go. There's your pointy bit. That actually looks really decent. Not 100% like a crayon, but I don't see myself doing much better than that. That's really, really cool. And of course, the next thing for us to do now is to build like the wrap that goes around the outside. We're going to do this using black wool and green wool, as we discussed before. We have some green wool bits right here, and we shall simply start off with the connected pane. We'll do the one in the middle because that's always probably going to stay that way, and that's it. Nope. Undo, undo. We want to undo it twice. Okay, so we do that one then. But then it's going to connect on that corner. So connected material. Aha, that's the way we want to build it. Right. So that one, yeah. Now it connects properly, and that looks really cool, man. We're building ourselves some crayons, I tell ya. Jeez, I didn't think I'd be doing this. You know, I love FoolCraft. There has been so many challenges, things that I thought I wasn't really about in this game, you know, with building and doing stuff like this. And I'm so glad that we have taken on this project in the City of Maybe, because we're just challenging ourselves and it's coming off really well. So now I'm starting to think it doesn't look as slim as a crayon, but I am not here to be like a purist at recreating things. This is just a fun challenge, and so far it's looking really cool. So next thing I think we want to do is going to be kind of tricky, and I'm not sure if there's one here that's really going to help us too much. Maybe draw region would be the fastest way, but we want to take off a trim of 2 around the entire bottom. Okay, so if it's going to be 2 blocks at the bottom, it needs to be 2 blocks at the top. It's currently 4, so we'll bring all of these edges up around by 2 as well, and we'll just do this side here for a second so I can step back and have a look. Yep, that's looking real cool. Okay, so we'll build the rest of that in a second. Now we want to add those trims of black. And the way it's done with crayons is it has a kind of wavy line. I think considering the scale and the size of this crayon, we should simplify it a little bit. And we should go for this with just like a trim. Now, it's a shame there isn't like a replace command in this, like replace the texture. Because then we could just go straight from, hang on, there it is, straight from green to black. We've got to remove it, then we've got to place it again. So we're going to be placing this stuff. We should set it to connected material, and then with this one we want to set it to draw regions. So let's go in by 2 blocks and add a 2-block trim of black, just like that. Alright, placing in the last of the blocks here. And now I'm going to do like an honest comparison between this and the picture of the crayon I got on the other screen. Let's undo that. Bam, there we go. That kind of works. That's kind of alright. But here's where we've gone wrong. This definitely needs to be slimmer, without a doubt. It needs to be a little bit more pointy at the top. But you kind of know it's a crayon anyway. But I'm thinking we've got to reconstruct this 2 times over. And the pointy bit I've probably got to build manually, because I don't think we can just replace the color that you're looking at. So why don't I take this as an opportunity to potentially do this a little bit better. I will build a slimmer one next, and then we can like pick between the 2 and say which one we're going to do. That, though, in the shop window, I reckon would look spectacular. In fact, if we just move back over here a little bit, I kind of get a feel for what it would look like already, man. I reckon this is going to be awesome. But yeah, we'll try and make it look a little bit slimmer, a little bit better than it currently is. Yep. Yep, I'm glad. I'm glad we decided to give it another shot, because this one, I tell you, 10 times better. 10 times better. Although, where the crayon comes up and then this thing starts, it kind of ends up looking like the pointy bit just starts there. It's actually kind of the same on that one as well. This is a much nicer dimension right here. And I think I discovered something which is going to be useful for two things. Something we're going to do right now and something we're going to do later, which is basically rebuild this into another colour. So keep that in mind, because I'm going to go with... I've already forgotten what we're doing. Hang on. No. We probably want something... Actually, the line tool here might help. We're gonna go with draw region, because that way I won't mess up. But if we go to this one, we have a replace option. So if I go like that, it didn't replace. If I right click, I see what I did wrong then. So we go back, because I basically removed. Look at that, we can directly replace. Now I'm wondering if we have something selected like connected material, or whatever else there is, it could replace the entire material from one to the other. So that means when we go and build the other bits, it's a lot easier. Now I'm also thinking here that rather than having that too thick strip, what if we added a little gap and just had two, like, actually already. Nah, I'm not going to do that. We'll undo that. We'll just stick to the too thick strap. That looks kind of cool. Yeah, right. So let's get this thing finished, and we're going to place it in the window. Before we place the whole thing, we're actually going to do it like this. I'm going to hold down Shift, and we're going to pick a spot like that. Now, I'm not going to try and line these up perfectly. I'm going to try and do something different. If we just put you, let's say, like there. Okay, and then another one, kind of maybe... Actually, do you know what? That last one should have been closer. Whoa, that made some lag. That made some lag happen. Okay, so something like that. Right, there's a different gap, one slightly further back. That looks kind of cool to me. Now, we've got the same material thing selected here for removing blocks. If I go and select the green one here, we put that into same material. We are also already in replace mode. And then I right click on... it looks like it's selecting the whole block. Actually, it's kind of selecting where the wall is, because that's what I'm looking at. Yes! It will work then. Oh, check that out. Oh my goodness me. We are learning to do the chisel and the bitsing. That's what we're learning. Okay, so same thing again, same material on replace mode. And look at that. It replaces the inside of the thing. Oh my goodness me. That is seriously cool. Alright, there we go. 3 crayons. There's a little bit of an inconsistency in the difference. Like the red here looks brighter than that red. This way it's the other way around, and then those two match each other really well. So they kind of look odd one to the next, but I love it. They are clearly crayons, and there is one last thing that I want to attempt here, and that is to change the height of them. So I need to think carefully about how I want to do this. Let's say we want to lower this one down by 2 blocks. I just kind of got a rough idea of how to do this a moment ago, but I didn't fully think through what it is I want to use here. And actually might be best to use that. Yeah, I think this is what's going to help us. So if we go through and just take out all of that. And are you glass? Did I break some glass a second ago? No. We're going to take out all of this, and then we're going to use the chisel design to try and lower it. Now this thing is sort of split up into 2 different parts. But if we take... no, this isn't going to work because... I kind of need to have broken it a little bit lower down. So now we get to right click on that, and now I want to test if we can sort of put this on an uneven surface or put it on top of something else. So if we hold down Shift, hang on, this is completely wrong. Yeah, there we go. If we hold down Shift, we can move it around like that, and it works going up and down. That's what I wanted to confirm. So now what we're going to do is same material, get rid of all of that, and then place this when holding down Shift. So it drops on top of that. We're then left with another one up the top there to do. Alright, and there you go. Now one chisel is a little bit smaller than the other. That really adds something. Okay, so now we want to do the same thing with this one. We're going to make it twice. I think twice as the gap that it's going to be smaller. Twice as smaller. That sentence just sounds terrible. But this is 4 blocks tall. The last one we did was 2. You can see some of the materials on the inside there. Didn't get replaced properly, but that's a little secret that only you and me will know about. Okay, so same dealio again. We take that, we put it in placement mode. This one's going to have to be done in stages by the looks of it because it's on a separate block. So same material, down goes this bit. Oh, look at that. Alright, there it is. 3 different heights for our crayons, and that last bit had to do manually, by the way, because it kind of intersected this block over here. What a cool project that was to do, and it has turned out really well. I'm happy with it. I am happy with it, and I'll tidy this up another day because I've got to get going. But I do just want to say, if you've enjoyed the video, leave a like, and of course, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this different approach to an episode. Certainly not something I'm thinking of doing often, but something I wanted to do since, like I explained earlier, time is a thing. And I think the project we did turned out really well, so I hope you enjoyed it. That's it from me this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of FoolCraft. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.